Good evening. Welcome to Robert's Reading Room and Reviews. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I just finished reading this book. This is my second book by this author this year. He's a bestseller, and I'm talking about no other than Nicholas Sparks. The name of the book is Nights in Rodin. Wow. All I can say, this is like one of his books when he first, came on the scene, his beginning of his career. And I read The Best of Me, which is more current. And I gotta tell you, it's hard to even depict the two. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I love a book that I can just read through and there's no typos. I mean, it's just perfection writing. And that's him. I can see why a lot of his books have turned into movies. I'm a sucker for love stories and I love love. And this is a great love story. I will say this. It's dealing with the character name is Adrienne Willis. She has three kids, Amanda, Dan, and Matt. She's married to Jack. Unfortunately, Jack leaves her for a coworker by the name of Linda. He just abandoned her and all the three kids. And she was bitter for a long time. And a friend of hers wanted her to come stay at her inn where she has an inn where people come and stay on the beach on this island that I just spoke of the name of the book actually. And she goes and she stays. And unfortunately, well, I could say it's fortunately good. She has a guest, one guest. His name is Paul Flanner. He's a doctor, very successful doctor, own his own business. He's done retire, sold his home. He actually loses his wife because he was so wrapped up in his career and he didn't spend any time with his wife nor his son Mark, who grow up to be a doctor also. But he wanted him to be a plastic surgeon as well as him. But he was like, "Oh no, that's I'm not going to that type of medicine or that field of being a doctor." So he wound up moving to Ecuador to help people who was in much need over there. So the reason why Paul comes to Rodanthe is to see um, a widow. His wife actually died because Paul performed surgery on her. She had this disfigured on her face, and during the operation, she unfortunately died. And her husband couldn't get over that. He got a lawyer. He was going to try to sue Paul and his team, and he was just bitter toward him. And he asked him to come here to talk to him. He wanted to see him, so that's why Paul wound up on the island, which is a good thing because up until that point, he really didn't know what love was. He wound up finding love with Audrey, and he goes to see the widower, and his son is there and told him to get away. You killed my mom, and don't you come back here. And this was very ugly. So then the widow comes see him at the inn that he was staying in, and was like, what can you tell me? What happened? What really happened in the surgery during the operating? And he was like, nothing. And he wanted to still put the blame on him. And I didn't like that part because it was like there was no closing to that. It was like he blamed Paul, but he didn't have evidence to know that Paul did it, you know, and he just got mad and left. He's an older man and he was pretty much on his, I ain't gonna say deathbed, but pretty close. I will say that. I just want to say this book taught me, and I can pretty much test to this. Sometimes you can meet a person and you can fall in love with someone, and that person love can be so good that it can even make you willing to, and you will forgive someone. Like in this book, she was so in love with Paul that she actually forgave her ex-husband Jack because she was just like bitter toward him during the first part of the book, and she got over it, and he was like shocked because she was asking questions about him and London because the lady that he had an affair with, his coworker, he wound up marrying her. And unfortunately, I'm not gonna say how that turned out because I'm not never gonna give away the whole book. But I would just like to say that ending, I was like, wow, not like this, really, really. But I just want to say I give this book 4 stars. It's worth the read. It's a quick read. It really is. It was only 212 pages. And I just want to say, I thoroughly enjoy his books. I'm a Nicholas Sparks fan now. And I recently, since I read the first book, went out and every time I go in a bookstore, I see a Nicholas Sparks book. I try to be like, do I have that book? Do I have this book? Just now before I started taping this, I looked on my shelf just to make sure as I was looking on Amazon, the books I do have and I don't have. I'm going to have to make a list to get those too because I'm very, 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 very happy that I started reading him because I've always years and years seen his book and I never just like no I'm not gonna read him. I'm glad I took a chance because I'm really enjoying reading his books. I just want to say please if you don't have it go out and get support Nicholas Sparks. And I just want to say I hope everyone have a great night. I'm not gonna say goodbye. I'm just gonna say till next time. Thanks for those who subscribe to Robert's Reading Room Reviews. And it's not too late if you want to still subscribe. Please, I would appreciate for the support. And those who did support me, thank you very much.